407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a 16th President of the United States dedicated to the elimination of the undead and the blood-sucking creatures of the night. Hello to everyone watching. I am movie critic Nick Iacobucci, as always, for the website ReelScreenReviews.com, and our next movie review is Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. This 3D horror and actioneer will open on June 22nd, 2012. This is an early review. This movie features the on-screen talents of Benjamin Walker, Dominic Cooper, Rufus Sewell, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter comes to us from director Timur blah 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 blah. All I know is that when you have a last name that's longer than mine, it's usually pretty difficult to pronounce. Anyway, he's the previous director of Wanted and producer of many Hollywood features. He now takes historical figures and mixes them with complete fantasy for one entertaining adventure. This tale tells of the 16th President of the United States of America and how in secret he is a highly trained assassin of vampires. Vampires are not only part of this world, they are also the real motivation that fuels Lincoln's life. It seems that vampires are planning to take over, and this is the drive that keeps him relentless in his pursuit to destroy them. You know, in the last few years, everything from Star Trek to the Muppets has been reimagined and reinvented, so why shouldn't the man that penned the Gettysburg Address lead a double life that includes ridding the world of the walking undead? Well, people, all I can say is that months ago, when I was walking through the multiplex and first saw on a poster 4 words that I never would have thought that I ever would have seen in a row, well, I must admit that I was intrigued. Those 4 words are obviously Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and this film is even more intriguing than that poster was. Almost immediately, this film will reach out and suck you right in. Get it? I'm just so witty today. Straight away, I must give credit to the writer and director for not only attempting but succeeding in a good mixture and balance of both real events and absolute fantasy. Now, for the world that's being given to the audience, this is actually a very plausible story, and once again, director, you know, his name is so damn difficult that I'm just going to call him the director, has crafted an extremely fun and visually entertaining feature. Just as he did a few years ago in Wanted, he brings together solid doses of action and manages to combine this with a visual style that could easily be considered a character all its own. The adventure starts early on in the film and rarely does it falter. The director also paces the film into quick and precise segments that come together into a finished product that, in my opinion, could never be described as boring. Now this takes me to Benjamin Walker as the great emancipator. While being very tall and looking like a man of stature, Benjamin Walker definitely fits the physical characteristics of our beloved 16th president, but I would be lying if I didn't say that to me he really seems to encompass and respect the man Abraham Lincoln. Now, even though the premise of this movie is not founded in reality, Walker's performance definitely is, and he is more than a presence on screen and holds the entire project together. Now, he does get some assistance from the always credible Dominic Cooper, and Rufus Sewell and the beautiful Mary Elizabeth Winstead also bring fun and believability to the unbelievable adventure. You know, the entire time that I was watching Abraham Lincoln, I kept thinking that this is what Jonah Hex was trying to accomplish, but completely botched in doing so. The title also succeeds where John Carter failed miserably, and that's when the title alone perks your interest. I need to also commend that the filmmakers went back to basics with good old-fashioned bloodsuckers of the night, and they didn't even try to sugarcoat the vampires. This is anything but the lovey-dovey so-called creatures of the night that we get in the Twilight franchise, and these vampires couldn't be more solid in their frightening appearance or in the pure evil that they embody. This feature is bloody, 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 and I thoroughly enjoyed almost every moment of it. Now, I don't know how major critics or history buffs will respond to this film, but my gut is telling me not very well. Now, I could be wrong on this, but I will say to those that want to nitpick that this is obviously not a documentary, nor does it try to be. I know that Mary Elizabeth Winstead is absolutely beautiful and that Mary Todd Lincoln wasn't. I also know that the real Honest Abe was said to have a high-pitched Southern accent and not the baritone of Benjamin Walker. All I can say is that if you're going into Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter attempting to pick apart the historical inaccuracies, then don't even bother buying a ticket, because this film was not made for you in the least. This movie was made for people ready to suspend their disbelief at the door and to be amused by some bloody good fun. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter flows smoothly from start to finish, and nobody is more surprised by this film than I am. After seeing this feature, I know exactly why they chose to release it smack dab in the middle of the summer movie season, and that's because this is the reason why people go to the movies in the first place, to be entertained. Now, please be forewarned that the blood and the gore couldn't be more prevalent throughout this feature, and that alone isn't everyone's cup of tea. For me, however, the director has utilized shots with the camera that seem to infuse the audience right in the middle of the action, and his use of the 3D technology was definitely quality and not cheesy. I really enjoyed this movie and just had a great time watching it, but understand that it might not be for all in this world, living or dead. You know, outside of the Avengers, I thought that May was just a rather disappointing month when it came to major releases. Dark Shadows, What to Expect When You're Expecting, Battleship, and To Rome with Love all got less than stellar reviews from me, but I'm very happy to say that with Prometheus and now with this feature, June seems to be back on the rebound. Nick's Real Screen Review is an extremely positive 3 stars out of 4, and that's for the guilty pleasure known as Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And remember, people, I'm not always right, but only when it comes to the movies, and thank you for your attention.